In the upper left, there's charity. That's corporate philanthropy, financial grants, in-kind donations, products and services, basic employee volunteerism. It's a familiar approach. And for a long time, whenever we thought about how business can impact social issues, this is what we thought of: to give back, to ensure you're licensed to operate. Today, corporate philanthropy remains a significant force for good in many communities around the world. Its beginnings were relationship-based, often the senior execs, CEOs, and they're also local, a local organization, local needs. A good example of both of those early drivers and still doing good work today is the Milton Hershey School. The founder of the Hershey Company, his wife, founded the school in the early 1900s, and that school provides a cost-free, private, coeducational home and school for children from families of low income. Mr. Hershey gave his entire personal fortune to that school. It's a great example of a company's charity making a huge positive impact on the local community. There are many more examples, whether it's large corporations funding huge programs in health, education, science, or the local bank or the grocery store funding the local baseball team. More recently, we've seen the idea of strategic philanthropy or cause marketing. Companies try to harness the power of brands and popular culture to do good. For example, it's impossible to tell the story of breast cancer awareness and prevention in the United States without mentioning the Avon Breast Cancer Crusade. Generated enormous awareness and education on the need for screening and raised more than $800 million for the cause. Another example, on a global scale, is Red. Major brands like Apple, Starbucks, embedding the issue of AIDS in Africa in their products and also raising money, almost $475 million to fight this disease. Employee volunteerism is another important aspect in this quadrant. Employees have volunteered with their companies for some time, but now that volunteerism is more developed, more focused, and more impactful. Company-wide service days are happening globally. Paid volunteer time is a benefit, and volunteerism as professional development. All these are part of the advances in engaging employees to make a more impactful difference in their communities. Let's take a look at some of the lessons learned in this charity quadrant. Corporate philanthropy makes a significant positive impact. At the same time, there are some lessons we can learn, some issues, some criticisms we ought to observe. Arguably, the most important is that business as a philanthropic model has a built-in limitation. By design, there's a separation between the business and the act of doing good for society. On one side, you have the business and all the activities required to make it work. And when you're finished with those activities, when you're done, you have something left over, a profit. And so you go to the other side and you give that profit away or a portion of that profit away in the hopes of impacting some kind of social issue. That separation leaves behind the most powerful resources and assets of the business: the people, the thinking, the research and development skills, the communication, all the systems that deliver innovation and efficiency. In fact, the things that business relies on most to create value. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how you give a percentage away of your profits, it's about how you make those profits. All those things are separate from philanthropy. All those things are separate from the company's efforts to impact the social issue. And that's one of the limitations of philanthropy. And in fact, when philanthropy is done by a corporate foundation, there's a legal obligation to keep it separate. It's the concept of self-dealing. Corporate foundations are prohibited from activities that benefit the corporation. For the cause marketing side of things, there's been some very visible downsides, in fact. Marketing has long been vulnerable to companies making less than credible claims and employing questionable tactics to gain awareness or break through the clutter. And cause marketing hasn't been spared. In fact, Stephen Colbert does a very effective job of pointing out a pretty serious problem with a pretty good dose of humor. You can check out the resources section of the course to see the video.